Do you want to know a little secret? Yeah. If you're after the new Lotus Emira V6, you can get one right now. It's called the Evora. Hi guys, Tab here. Hope you're all keeping well. So, yes, if you know your cars, you'll know there's a car out there right now which is generating an awful lot of hype. It is, of course, the fabulous Lotus Emira. I think when a lot of people saw this launch, they were just like, wow, what a good looking car. I've been to see it in person, and I think that's the reason they've had so much interest and so many orders. I'm not so sure how bothered people are about the powertrain and the chassis. I just think they saw it and thought, yes, I am putting my money down on that. And quite rightly so. I don't think you can go far wrong with that car at all. Now, I wanted to do a short video on this, an actual YouTube short, but there's just a little bit too much content to discuss, so it's going to be a short, normal YouTube video, if that makes sense. But the focus of this video is 100% going to be on which is the right engine to get for your Lotus Emira. So, there's going to be two options. The first of which is a Toyota V6, 3.5 litre. It's the 2GR FE engine. That's going to be available in the first edition Lotus Emiras from summer onwards. Followed by, of course, the AMG inline-four, which should be around in the autumn timeframe. So let's look at the merits and pros and cons of both of those engines. So for me, that Toyota engine has been around for a long time. The 2GR engine came along, a V6, in, believe it or not, 2005. So it's pretty ancient by today's standards, nearly 20 years old. For sure, it's been through tweaks and refinements. The version you get in the Emira is the 2GR FE, which has an Edenbrock supercharger on it, which allows it to run at a nice sprightly 395 brake horsepower and about 315 pound-foot of torque. So it's no slouch, and it's going to be bulletproof in terms of reliability because it's a Toyota. Toyota, Honda, AMG, Mercedes, probably some of the most reliable engines out there. BMW, yeah, BMW, you listening? Yeah, take a note of that. But I don't think you can go wrong with that. But for me, it's old tech. It's probably quite thirsty from a fuel perspective, and fuel prices aren't looking great at the moment. And it's heavier, right? And probably not so tunable. Now, the other engine which is available is going to be the AMG M139 inline-four engine with a turbocharger. And that's been around, I think, since about 2015-ish, there or thereabouts. So it's much newer tech, it's going to be much more efficient. And for me, it's going to be the more fun engine. Now, going back to that V6, that engine is also available in the Evora, which is out now, and it's also available in the bonkers Exige. Exige is so bonkers because it's so light, it's about 1,000 kilos. The Evora is about 1,400 kilos, and the Emira is pretty much the same. So, you know, they're heavier cars, they're going to feel a bit chunkier on the road. If you want the truly bonkers thing, you're going to go for the Exige, but it's not the most reliable of cars. The other thing as well is the Evora and the Emira share a lot under the skin. Very similar chassis. If you're talking about that V6 version, I should add, very similar in terms of what's under the skin. This is the last of this type of car that Lotus are making. So they're not going to design something completely new from the ground up. It's basically a little bit of a rehash of the Evora. But yes, it does look beautiful, and honestly, sat in it and it was just lovely. So, would I get the V6? No, I wouldn't. Why not? Because I don't think it's going to be different enough from a driving perspective than the Evora. It is definitely going to look a lot better though, no doubt about it. But for me, the inline-four, that AMG 139 is just going to be the one for me. The 2 litre, I think it's about 360 brake, 310 pound-foot of torque, so not that much under the V6. It's going to be more efficient when you're cruising around town. And it's going to, for me, sound better. Here's the thing, I'm not, as I've said before in previous videos, I'm not a big fan of that V6. It's too loud and a little bit on the twangy, obnoxious side for me. But that inline-four is just going to be, I think, sound more purposeful, more refined, and have all that turbo lag and fun. Also, I think it's going to be more tunable. Now, I know Lotus are looking at detuning this engine a little bit because it's going behind you, and this engine is supposed to be in front of you in the AMG where it gets better access to cooling. So that's going to be something that will be interesting to see. V6 comes in a manual version and also an automatic if you want to upgrade, and then the flappy paddle as well for the inline-four I think will be fantastic. So for me, that is where it's at in terms of the right engine for the Lotus Emira. I think it's going to be different enough and new enough to get around town in a slightly better way, and then obviously when you want to open it up it goes bonkers. I've not looked into the emissions of these, but I would imagine, you know, that the 2015 being a newer engine variant is going to be better on the emissions. But for me, it's just going to be an all-round, more refined package than that Toyota V6. But it's personal preference. What do you want? Let me know in the comments. For me, it's going to be the inline-four on this one. But let me punctuate, let me finalize this video by saying I don't think you can go wrong with either. They're both going to be brilliant cars. There is no doubt about that. And if you've got your order in for one of these, you should be very excited indeed. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now, and I'll see you on the next one.